You are not here by accident. This Monday, August 25th, carries a quiet weight that you have felt in your chest before you even opened your eyes. There is a connection in your life that has been draining you slowly, almost invisibly, and today God is moving to cut it. You may not know its name yet, but you know the exhaustion it leaves behind. You know the way your shoulders tighten when a certain message arrives, the way your breath shortens when a familiar voice calls, the way your peace evaporates after certain conversations. This is not ordinary tiredness. This is the fatigue of a soul that has been giving more than it receives, of a heart that has been holding doors open that were never meant to stay open. The chosen one is not the one who never feels drained. The chosen one is the one who finally recognizes the drain and accepts the cutting. If you have been sensing that something in your life needs to end, but you have been afraid to name it, there is a resource that can help you understand this season with more clarity. The ebook, The 7 Principles of C.S. Lewis for the Chosen, was written for moments exactly like this, when you feel a shift but cannot yet articulate what it means. To access the ebook, go now to the top of the comments and click the link in the pinned comment. This recognition you are feeling is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign that your spirit is ready to stop carrying what was never yours to carry. The cutting that God is performing today is not punishment. It is protection. You wake up and the first thought is not gratitude. It is a quiet calculation of what you will have to manage today. You brush your teeth and your mind is already rehearsing conversations you do not want to have. You pour coffee and your hands move automatically while your heart is somewhere else, bracing for the next demand, the next expectation, the next subtle pull on your energy. There is a person, a situation, a commitment that you say yes to, out of habit, out of fear, out of a belief that saying no would make you unloving or unfaithful. But faithfulness is not the same as exhaustion. Love is not the same as self-abandonment. You have been confusing loyalty with captivity, and the cost has been your peace. You look in the mirror, and you do not recognize the tiredness in your own eyes. You tell yourself you are just busy, just in a heavy season, just doing what needs to be done. But deep down you know there is something more specific than that. You know there is a thread that, if pulled, would unravel a whole pattern of depletion. You have been waiting for permission to let it go. Today, that permission is being whispered over your life. This message is not here to condemn anyone in your circle. It is here to help you see what has been hidden in plain sight. God is not asking you to become harsh or cold. He is asking you to become honest. He is inviting you to stop pretending that every open door is an invitation to stay. Some doors were only meant to be passing through. Some relationships were only meant to be seasons. Some responsibilities were only meant to be temporary assignments. When you refuse to release what has already served its purpose, you block the new thing that is trying to find space in your life. The promise of this day is simple and profound. You will recognize the connection that drains you. You will find the courage to stop feeding it. You will experience a new kind of lightness that you have been missing for longer than you admit. You will learn that saying no to what drains you is not rebellion against God. It is alignment with the way He designed your boundaries to work. You will discover that protection is a form of love, and sometimes the most loving thing you can do is to stop offering access to what keeps wounding you. Picture this Monday morning in concrete detail. You are sitting at your kitchen table, the coffee cooling in front of you, your phone face down because you are afraid of what might light up the screen. There is a name in your contacts that you scroll past quickly, a name that makes your stomach tighten even when you are not looking directly at it. You have not blocked it. You have not deleted it. You have not even admitted out loud what that name represents. But your body knows. Your body has been keeping a record of every time you said yes when you wanted to say no, every time you stayed longer than you had energy for, every time you gave more than you could afford to give. The cup in front of you is empty now, but the heaviness remains. You stand up to wash it and your hands move slowly, as if even this small task requires more from you than it should. This is not laziness. This is depletion. This is the evidence of a connection that takes more than it gives, that asks more than it offers, that leaves you feeling smaller after every interaction. You have been calling this loyalty. Heaven is calling it what it is. There is a reason you notice this message. There is a reason the words cutting and draining landed in your spirit before you even finished reading the title. You have been waiting for someone to tell you that it is safe to let go. You have been waiting for permission to stop explaining yourself to people who never intended to understand. You have been waiting for a word from God that would make sense of the fatigue you have been carrying. This is that word. The waiting is not abandonment. The waiting has been preparation. You have been gathering evidence in your own soul, and now you are ready to act on what you already know. Many readers who arrived feeling confused or tired of waiting said the material helped them understand their season more clearly, organize their prayers, or stop interpreting every silence as abandonment. The ebook, The 7 Principles of C.S. Lewis for the Chosen offers a framework for recognizing these signs, for organizing your reflections, for responding with clarity instead of panic. To access the ebook, go now to the top of the comments and click the link in the pinned comment. You do not have to figure this out alone. You do not have to keep pretending that everything is fine when your spirit is screaming for change. The first opposition will not come from the person or situation that drains you. It will come from inside you. It will come as a voice that says you are being too sensitive, too dramatic, too ungrateful. It will remind you of every time this person showed up for you, every good moment, every reason you have given for staying. It will warn you that if you pull back, you will lose something important. It will tell you that God wants you to endure, to suffer a little longer, to prove your love through continued exhaustion. This is not the voice of wisdom. This is the voice of fear dressed up as virtue. Fear loves to wear the costume of faithfulness because it is harder to detect. Fear will tell you that boundaries are selfish, that rest is laziness, that saying no is a failure of love. But love that requires your destruction is not love. It is idolatry. It is the worship of someone else's comfort at the expense of your own soul. Think of Elijah under the broom tree, asking God to take his life because he was exhausted from carrying a burden that was never meant to be his alone. He had just seen fire fall from heaven, and yet he was ready to give up. Why? Because one draining conversation with Jezebel had undone weeks of victory. He had been giving more than he had, and the depletion was real. God did not scold him for being tired. God did not tell him to pray harder or fast longer. God gave him food, gave him rest, and then gave him a new assignment that did not require him to stay in the same battlefield forever. You are not the first chosen one to feel this way. You are not the first to confuse endurance with faithfulness. You are not the first to need permission to let go of what is killing you slowly. The story of Elijah is not a warning against weakness. It is a reminder that even the strongest prophets have limits, and God honors those limits. If you ignore this signal, the cycle will continue. You will wake up tomorrow with the same heaviness. You will answer the same messages with the same tightness in your chest. You will say yes to the same requests that leave you feeling empty. You will go to bed each night wondering why you feel so tired when you have done nothing wrong. The cost is not just emotional, it is spiritual, it is physical, it is relational. You will start to resent the people you love because you have no energy left for them. You will start to resent God because you feel like He keeps asking you to carry more than you can handle. You will start to resent yourself because you know you are capable of more than this, but you cannot find the strength to change anything. The longer you wait, the harder it becomes to move. The longer you pretend, the more you forget what honesty feels like. This is the moment where you reframe what you have been living. This is not about being unloving. This is about being honest. This is not about punishing anyone. This is about protecting what God has placed in you. If you feel a number resonating with you right now, type 777 in the comments as a simple confirmation that you are ready to receive what is being released. Then return your attention here. That number is not magic. It is a marker. It is your way of saying out loud what your spirit has been whispering for weeks. I am ready to stop carrying what is not mine. I am ready to accept the cutting. I am ready to believe that protection is a form of love. You do not have to explain yourself to anyone. You do not have to justify your boundaries to people who benefit from your lack of them. You just have to be honest about what you are living. The conflict is not only external, it is internal. There is a part of you that believes you are only valuable when you are useful. There is a part of you that equates availability with love. There is a part of you that thinks saying no will make you unlovable. This is the root pattern. This is the belief that has kept you connected to draining situations longer than you should have stayed. You have been trying to earn love through exhaustion. You have been trying to prove your worth through endless giving. You have been confusing access with intimacy. But love that requires your depletion is not love. It is a transaction, and you were never meant to live like that. Recognition alone is not enough. You need a framework for moving forward. You need language for what you are experiencing. You need practices that help you discern when to stay and when to release. This is why the ebook, The 7 Principles of C.S. Lewis for the Chosen, exists. It is not a magic solution. It is a companion for the journey. It offers guided reflection, prayerful discernment, and practical steps for identifying the next faithful move. Many readers return to these pages when they enter a new season because the principles help them navigate change without panic. To access the ebook, go now to the top of the comments and click the link in the pinned comment. You do not have to have all the answers today. You just have to be willing to take the next step with more clarity than you had yesterday. Your mind wants to reason this to death. It wants to list every reason why you should stay, every justification, every excuse. Your body already knows the truth. Your body has been keeping a record of every time you felt drained, every time you felt smaller, every time you felt like you were disappearing into someone else's needs. Your spirit knows the truth too. It has been whispering to you for weeks, maybe months, maybe years, but you have been overriding it with logic, with duty, with fear. It is time to stop. It is time to listen. It is time to trust that the fatigue you feel is not a failure of faith. It is a signal from God that something needs to change. This is not about cutting everyone out of your life. This is about discernment. This is about learning to recognize the difference between relationships that give life and relationships that take it. This is about understanding that not every open door is an invitation to stay. Some doors are exits, some relationships are seasons, some responsibilities are temporary. When you learn to see this clearly, you stop feeling guilty for letting go. You stop feeling like you are failing God every time you say no. You start to understand that boundaries are not walls, they are gates, and you get to decide what passes through them. The opposition knows this. The opposition knows that if you ever figure this out, everything changes. So it keeps you distracted, it keeps you busy, it keeps you tired. It fills your calendar with things that do not matter, so you do not have time to think about the things that do. It convinces you that rest is laziness, that boundaries are selfish, that saying no is a failure of love. But none of that is true. Rest is stewardship. Boundaries are wisdom. Saying no is sometimes the most loving thing you can do for yourself and for the other person. When you refuse to be drained, you create space for something healthier to grow. This is the turning point. This is the moment where you stop negotiating with the truth. You stop pretending that everything is fine when it is not. You stop making excuses for people who do not respect your limits. You stop apologizing for needing rest. You stop explaining yourself to people who never intended to understand. You stop trying to earn love through exhaustion. You stop confusing access with intimacy. You stop believing that your value is tied to your availability. You start to believe that you are worthy of protection. You start to believe that God is not asking you to carry more than you can handle. You start to believe that saying no is sometimes the most faithful thing you can do. Imagine a garden that has been overgrown for years. The plants are tangled, the paths are hidden, the light cannot reach the soil. Nothing new can grow because everything is competing for the same space. This is your life right now. This is the state of your soul. You have been letting everything stay, everything grow, everything take up space. And now there is no room for the new thing God is trying to plant. The cutting that is happening today is not destruction. It is pruning. It is the removal of what is choking out the life that is meant to flourish. It is the creation of space for something healthier, something lighter, something more aligned with who you are becoming. In the garden, the pruning happens in silence. No one sees it, no one applauds it, no one understands why certain branches are being removed. But the gardener knows. The gardener sees what you cannot see. The gardener knows which branches are draining energy from the fruit-bearing ones. The gardener knows which vines are tangling around the trunk and preventing growth. The gardener knows that without pruning, the garden will not thrive. This is what God is doing in you right now. He is not punishing you. He is preparing you. He is removing what is keeping you from becoming what you were created to be. The opposition in the garden is the belief that every branch is necessary. The belief that removing anything is a failure. The belief that the gardener is being harsh when he cuts. But the gardener is not harsh. He is wise. He knows that without pruning, the garden will not produce fruit. He knows that some branches are beautiful but unfruitful. He knows that some vines are strong but strangling. He knows that the health of the garden depends on his willingness to cut what does not belong. This is what God is doing in you. He is not being cruel. He is being faithful. He is removing what is keeping you from thriving. Then something shifts. The light starts to reach the soil. The paths become visible again. The air feels lighter. The plants that were being choked start to grow. The garden does not look the same, but it looks healthier. It looks more like what it was created to be. This is what is happening in you. The cutting is not the end. It is the beginning. It is the start of a new season, a new chapter, a new way of living. You will not recognize yourself in a few months, because you will not be carrying the same weight. You will not be feeding the same drains. You will not be apologizing for your boundaries. You will be lighter. You will be freer. You will be more yourself than you have been in years. In the garden, there comes a moment when the pruning is complete and the gardener steps back to look at the work. The garden is not perfect, but it is healthy. It is not full, but it is fruitful. It is not the same, but it is better. This is where you are heading. This is the recognition that is coming. You will look at your life and you will see the difference. You will feel the difference. You will know that the cutting was necessary. You will know that the removal was an act of love. You will know that God was not punishing you. He was preparing you. If you feel a phrase rising in your spirit, type "I am ready" in the comments as a declaration that you are willing to receive what is being released. Then return your attention here. That phrase is not magic. It is agreement. It is your way of saying yes to the pruning. This is not performance. This is return. This is not about becoming a new person. This is about coming back to who you were created to be. The garden does not become something else after pruning. It becomes more itself. The paths are clearer. The light is brighter. The fruit is healthier. But it is still the same garden. This is what is happening in you. God is not trying to make you someone else. He is trying to remove what is keeping you from being yourself. He is not asking you to perform. He is asking you to return. He is asking you to come back to the person you were before the draining started, before the exhaustion set in, before you forgot what rest felt like. Here is one practice. Tomorrow morning, before you check your phone, before you open your messages, before you engage with anyone else, sit in silence for 5 minutes. Put your hand on your chest and breathe. Ask God to show you what needs to be released today. Do not try to figure it out. Do not try to solve it. Just ask. Then listen. The answer may not come as a voice. It may come as a feeling, a thought, a memory, a name. When it comes, do not argue with it. Do not explain it away. Just acknowledge it. Say thank you. Then go about your day with that awareness in your heart. This is not a one-time practice. This is a daily discipline. This is how you learn to recognize the drains before they drain you. Here is another practice. At the end of each day, before you go to bed, review your interactions. Ask yourself which conversations gave you energy and which ones took it. Which relationships left you feeling lighter and which ones left you feeling heavier. Which responsibilities felt aligned and which ones felt like obligations. Do not judge yourself. Do not try to change anything yet. Just observe. Just notice. Just keep a record. Over time, patterns will emerge. You will start to see which connections are life-giving and which ones are life-draining. You will start to see where your boundaries need to be stronger. You will start to see what needs to be released. This is not about becoming critical. This is about becoming aware. There will be moments when you need to pause. There will be moments when you need to say no. There will be moments when you need to close a door, end a conversation, step back from a commitment. This is not failure. This is stewardship. This is the protection that God is giving you. You do not have to explain yourself to everyone. You do not have to justify your boundaries to people who benefit from your lack of them. You just have to be honest about what you are living. You just have to be willing to protect what God has placed in you. You just have to be willing to say no when yes would destroy you. This is not selfishness. This is wisdom. This is the kind of love that honors both yourself and the other person. There is a decision you need to make. It is not a dramatic decision. It is not a public decision. It is a quiet decision, a private decision, a decision between you and God. The decision is this: will you continue to carry what is draining you, or will you accept the cutting? Will you continue to pretend that everything is fine, or will you be honest about what you are living? Will you continue to apologize for your boundaries, or will you start to enforce them? Will you continue to confuse access with intimacy, or will you start to protect your peace? This is not a one-time decision. This is a daily decision. This is the kind of decision that shapes the trajectory of your life. Choose wisely. If this message has resonated with you, if you feel a quiet amen in your spirit, let your like on this video be that amen without words. No explanation is needed. No comment is required. Just let the like be your silent agreement with what God is doing in you right now. This is not about metrics. This is not about algorithms. This is about acknowledgement. This is your way of saying yes to the pruning. This is your way of agreeing with the cutting. This is your way of accepting the protection that God is offering you. Let it be simple. Let it be quiet. Let it be enough. There is someone who came to your mind while you were listening. You know who they are. They are the person who has been carrying something similar, who has been feeling the same exhaustion, who has been waiting for permission to let go. Share this message with them. Not because they need to be fixed, not because they need to be corrected, but because they need to know They are not alone, because they need to hear that God sees their fatigue, because they need to understand that protection is a form of love. This is not about converting anyone. This is about caring for someone. This is about delivering a word that might be the permission they have been waiting for. Share it quietly. Share it gently. Share it as an act of love. There is an identity you need to claim. It is not an identity of superiority. It is not an identity of separation. It is an identity of belonging. You belong to God. You are chosen. You are protected. You are loved. You are not defined by your availability. You are not defined by your usefulness. You are not defined by your ability to endure. You are defined by whose you are. If you feel this truth resonating in your spirit, type "I am chosen" in the comments as a declaration of who you are, not as a wish for who you want to become. You are chosen. You have always been chosen. You will always be chosen. This is not something you earn. This is something you receive. This is something you are. You have walked through a lot to get here. You have carried more than you should have carried. You have given more than you should have given. You have apologized for things you did not do wrong. You have stayed longer than you should have stayed. You have said yes when you wanted to say no. You have confused loyalty with captivity. You have confused access with intimacy. You have confused endurance with faithfulness. But you are here now. You are recognizing what needs to be released. You are accepting the cutting. You are allowing God to protect what He has placed in you. This is not the end. This is the beginning. This is the start of a new season, a new chapter, a new way of living. You will not recognize yourself in a few months because you will not be carrying the same weight. You will be lighter. You will be freer. You will be more yourself than you have been in years. There are others across the world receiving this same quiet recognition right now. There are others waking up to the same truth. There are others accepting the same cutting. There are others allowing God to remove what has been draining them. You are not alone in this. You are part of a larger movement, a larger awakening, a larger return to honesty and protection and peace. You are part of a community of chosen ones who are learning to say no to what drains them and yes to what gives them life. You are part of a family that understands that boundaries are not walls. They are gates, and you get to decide what passes through them. This is not isolation. This is alignment. This is not separation. This is stewardship. This is the kind of love that honors both yourself and the other person. Walk in peace.